Governor Tarkin. I should have expected to find you holding Vader's leash. I recognized your foul stench when I was brought on board.
Charming to the last. You don't know how hard I found it, signing the order to terminate your life.
I'm surprised you had the courage to take the responsibility yourself.
Princess Leia, before your execution, I would like you to be my guest at a ceremony that will make this battle station operational. No star system will dare oppose the Emperor now.
Hey, JP.
How's it going, Ron?
Hey. Did you hear the news today? A big casting announcement for Episode 7.
Oh, finally. What is it?
Tom Cruise is going to be a major star in the next episode.
Are we breaking that here?
We are breaking it, yeah. I think this is an exclusive on SW Dog exclusive.
Wow. So that is probably the most outrageous stunt casting in the entire history of Star Wars.
Stunt casting? Wait, what's stunt casting?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Star Wars Delusions of Granular podcast. Today we'll be talking about stunt casting and the amazing lineage it has in the Star Wars universe.
Yes, it does have a lineage. I actually kind of know what stunt casting is, but we should probably define it for our listeners so they know what the heck we're talking about today.
Right. We should also clear it up that Tom Cruise isn't confirmed yet.
No, he's not confirmed.
Just in our hearts and minds.
I'm hoping he's either a stormtrooper or that he's playing Darth Bane.
Jedi Master.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah, just straight up he actually is playing Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill's playing Watto. Watto's son.
Tom Cruise just comes out with like Ray-Bans on.
Oh yeah.
He's just the Jedi that's wearing sunglasses.
He's got dyed blonde tips. Like he's sees Harrison Ford and like Luke.
Gets him a big high five.
Oh yeah.
We just bring in like every Tom Cruise stereotype from his movies, every cliche, and bring it into Star Wars.
Starts out and he's like hanging from a rock, climbing a cliff.
Oh yeah, right.
Mission Impossible 2 style.
Right. Somewhere along the way, his wingman dies.
Yeah. Oh man, that's we should have kept that for the for last episode, the Hopes and Dreams episode.
Oh yeah. Well, this is kind of playing off that episode, I guess. This is the I think a lot of fans. Well, I guess we should define what stunt casting is, but I think a lot of fans think stunt casting should be kept far, far away from Star Wars.
There's certainly a stigma around stunt casting.
Yeah, so stunt casting is, well, we have the actual definition by Wikipedia, and that is
the third host of the show, Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's where we get all our information. But stunt casting is basically when a movie star is cast in a bit part in a movie.
Right. And in the definition, I like that they kind of make a point that it's taking roles away from solid character actors.
Right. So, famous, probably the most famous stunt casting in film history, Marlon Brando as Jor-El in the original Superman movies.
Oh yeah, hands down. I mean, that's
the Christopher Reeve.
I love the fact that Dick Donner took the time to give him the little white Jerry curl, like
give
him a little curl in the front.
Right.
I thought that's the details that made that movie a classic.
And Brando made like $1 million for like 10 minutes of actual filming.
Oh yeah, famously Brando said that at that point he was in the Marlon Brando business.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's I think is probably the best example of stunt casting. Although stunt casting has been around throughout the years of filmmaking.
Oh yeah,
it pops up every once in a while. I think it pops up like I want to say a good use of it is like when a movie, like a small movie, needs kind of some recognition brought to it.
Sure.
My favorite bit of stunt casting was Harvey Keitel in Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, nobody really knew who Quentin Tarantino was at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody really knew that cast very well. And somehow he met with Harvey Keitel, and Harvey Keitel, helped him finance the movie. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, I want a role in it too. Yeah. And it helped. Yeah. He's definitely a presence in that movie. Probably helped bring recognition to Quentin Tarantino. I think Quentin Tarantino is also probably a good master of stunt casting.
Oh, I mean, when I think of stunt casting, I immediately think of John Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
This is at the period where John Travolta's dead as Dillinger, his career is over. And that is probably the highest thing that a stunt cast can possibly achieve, is to save or preserve an actor's career.
Right.
And also make the film better.
Yeah. So I guess that's the idea of stunt casting.
I mean, Mel Gibson's career currently is just stunt casting. That's what
I think there's actors that just kind of fall into that to the point where it's like, well, they're just going to show up and do their 5 minutes of work and then just move on.
And it's a hard thing. As I started to kind of research for this show, it's kind of hard to differentiate between stunt casting and cameos. Because like sometimes a famous actor will have a cameo,
right?
And it's not exactly stunt casting,
right?
And also, but then there's also times where it's like in that Wikipedia article they cite specifically Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu as stunt casting, which I would argue is more just a character actor doing character acting work.
Well, okay, so that's an interesting point. Samuel L. Jackson is Mace Windu. Were you on board with him? Were you on board with Samuel Jackson being in Star Wars?
I remember thinking it was odd to have such a recognizable face in Star Wars, but I've never been able to say anything bad against Samuel Jackson, so I was fine with it.
Right, and I think a lot of people probably are on board with your opinion on that. I kind of have a problem with it. Because I never see that character other than it's Samuel Jackson. I never see Mace Windu.
Well, okay, yeah. Well,
and this is the problem with stunt casting is it kind of takes you out of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it does. The characters aren't bouncing off a character; they're bouncing off of an actor's persona.
Right.
I see.
Right.
I
think another one, although it was a brilliant piece of it was a brilliant work by the actor. It was definitely a piece of stunt casting that I think took everyone out of the picture.
Okay.
Was Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
Really? Okay.
Because everyone was just because he had the fat suit on and he was bald.
Yeah.
I think
funny dancing.
Yeah. I think it was a great performance, but I think it totally just brought the movie to a halt because everybody was just like, is that Tom Cruise?
I don't know. I thought it was pretty great. The only thing I didn't like about him doing that was that it so overshadowed the other stunt cast in the film with Matthew McConaughey, long before True Detective, long before all this stuff, where he's doing this super agent who clearly just hates his son, which I thought was such a funny bit of humor.
Well, and that's I bring that up as stunt casting. Yeah. That's kind of a tough movie to say that as stunt casting because everybody in that movie was pretty much a movie star.
Right.
Everybody, you knew Ben Stiller was basically just playing himself.
Jack Black.
But when you have a movie star come in to basically a cast of unknowns, that's when it really stands out. That's when it's like, what's this guy doing here? Oh, hey, there's that guy. Hey, it's George Clooney. It's just
Which is a very interesting point for today's topic because while, I think you named him right there, Quentin Tarantino, I think, is probably the master of stunt casting in contemporary times.
Yes.
Him and Robert Rodriguez both do fantastic stunt casts.
Yes.
But a name that's not on that list of people who are really great stunt casters is George Lucas.
Right.
And going back to 1977, A New Hope is filled with stunt casting.
Sure. And this is what I was saying is the original Star Wars was basically a cast of unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you didn't. Harrison Ford was nobody. Mark Hamill was nobody. You know, Carrie Fisher was that one actress's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was like, who are these people? I
Yeah.
mean, Harrison Ford maybe had done a movie prior to that. Well, he did American Graffiti, but he wasn't a household name yet.
No, when I was a kid, this is a little bit of a side talk. When I was a kid, I remember hearing the story that he was a carpenter on Star Wars, and that's how he got an audition. What, is there any truth to that? Or
There is truth to that, yes.
Is that all made up?
He was a working actor, so he wasn't like, you know, he had done
jobs.
a couple roles, but he still had to, you know, earn his keep. So,
sure.
You know, the movie star business wasn't paying the bills yet.
Right. Okay.
Now I don't know if he was like working on the movie or if he was just working on George's house. I don't know how that came about, but
was he working on Lucas Ranch? Maybe working alongside Marsha?
Maybe. Well, Lucas Ranch did not come until after Star Wars.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can leave him out of that conspiracy theory for now.
For now. But yeah, so you had this group of unknowns, and you know, they needed some marquee names for the bill, so they cast probably two of the original stunt cast.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be
Sir Alec Guinness.
And
I don't know if he's a Sir, but Mr. Peter Cushing. Of Hammer Horror fame.
Now, these are interesting because I don't think people my age who grew up with Star Wars, you know, I was, 7 or 8 when the first film came out. I never knew that any of these people had a film career prior to Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
But they did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, big movies.
Totally.
You know, Alec Guinness was in Bridge on the River Kwai, which was, I believe, an Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah. It's one on the top 100 lists all the time.
Yeah, and Peter Cushing was in all these horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
So
amazing career.
Yeah, so they both were, unbeknownst to me, an 8-year-old, recognizable faces in an otherwise unrecognizable cast.
Right. And I think that's something that your parents probably picked up on.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
hey,
definitely.
there's Peter Cushing. Hey, it's Alec Guinness. Wow,
right,
neat.
Right.
Wow, they put a wig on him.
Right, that's how the times have changed. Like, my parents were probably like, oh, neat.
Mm-hmm.
But you do that nowadays, and you're like, oh, that totally ruined the picture. It took me right out.
Yeah,
yeah. These are just working actors.
Well, and I mean, there was, when I was doing research for this, I found that there's the Variety announcement that announced that Alec Guinness was going to be in the picture. He was like the 3rd or 4th person announced. Variety naturally assumed that he was the lead. They're like, oh, and like all caps, Alec Guinness is in this. Like, it's his movie.
Alec Guinness probably thought that too.
Well, it's funny because he got so, I mean, famously, he hated being in Star Wars. It was really hard to get him back for Empire. Thought it was a kind of a black mark on his career. He was such a good, serious actor, and this was silly children's stuff. But that silly children's stuff is what's kept his name alive. Like, I've gone back and watched old films of his. So have you. Mm-hmm. Specifically because he was Obi-Wan, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Yeah. I mean, that preserved the Alec Guinness name.
Like, kind of a side topic here, but, like, Star Wars did make people... It turned people into film lovers.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like, most people who really got into Star Wars ended up really getting into movies.
Totally.
And not just watching... the current stuff, but going back into the history of cinema and really learning it as an art.
How many film buffs got into Akira Kurosawa based solely on reading an article that this is based off Hidden Fortress?
Right.
Hidden Fortress,
right.
What's that?
Yeah, I think I watched... I don't know if I watched Hidden Fortress, but I did watch Seven Samurai.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, it's been around. It's been around since the beginning.
Sure.
And yet, people are now, like, screaming, don't put Justin Bieber, Tom Cruise, don't put these people into a Star Wars movie.
Right.
But that's what Star Wars is about. Like, it's always been there, and it's always been a part of the...
Well, it's
what makes Star Wars Star Wars.
In a way, it's... I mean, to look at it from a less magical point of view, it's one of the things that created the formula that would become Hollywood blockbusters. So you got to give something for the kids.
Right.
You got to give something for the kids. You got to give something for the adults. You got to give something. Everyone has to have something to latch onto. So if I'm bringing my 11-year-old kid to go see this movie, it's a little easier pill to swallow Space Wizards if it's played by a guy I know. It's like, oh, hey, he's doing this. I can go along with this.
Sure. Of course, we are kind of playing devil advocate here, and do we really want a Tom Cruise to come in and just play himself?
I legitimately want that. Yeah, I made a pact a long, long time ago that I would.
Do we want Justin Bieber? Do we want Zac Efron?
Well, I mean, not that long ago.
Skywalker's
in terms of stunt casting, I mean,
son, Zac Skywalker.
George with a capital G himself once tried to cast the Backstreet Boys.
He did cast the Backstreet Boys because his daughter wanted the Backstreet Boys in a Star Wars movie, and they filmed it.
Wow.
And it ended up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
I don't know what they...
Well, they were aliens. That's on the DVD. I heard they were aliens, right?
Okay, so if they were aliens, can you cast a Tom Cruise and put him in alien makeup and have him be unrecognizable? Is that still a stunt cast?
Honestly, I think it would... Well, that's a good point. So, we have... I kind of put together today a few levels of stunt casting.
Okay.
So, you have the Tom...
These are JP levels of stunt casting. You're defining these.
Yes.
This isn't something we pulled off of Wikipedia.
I made this up today just for my own purposes because I was trying to identify, you can't say that it's the same level of stunt casting as having, Mel Gibson be the bad guy in Expendables 3 as having Greg Proops play the two-headed alien in Phantom Menace.
Right, because that was his voice.
Yes.
That was his voice. You didn't see Jeff Proops. You didn't see a guy with, thick framed glasses.
Oh, it's Jeff Proops? I want to think Greg.
No, I think it's Greg.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay.
But you didn't see a thick framed glasses wearing alien.
Yeah.
You
didn't see whose line is it anyway.
Yeah. You just heard his voice, and I think some people criticize the Phantom Menace for a lot of things, obviously, but that's probably one of the things they nitpick about it is it's Jeff Proops doing shtick in a Star Wars movie.
Right.
I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
So here's the levels I have. From top to bottom, you have cruise level. Cruise level is studio-mandated bankable film star shoved into a film awkwardly. So I got this from a list you sent me where they put Tom Cruise being cast in Interview with a Vampire as being stunt casting.
Okay.
And
all right. But that worked.
It totally worked.
That worked.
Certainly. They even admitted that in the article. But yeah, that would be something where it's just he's not necessarily fit for the role, but they shove him in because he's bankable. That's a form of stunt casting.
Okay.
Travolta level. Unsuspected career comeback of an actor not seen in a long time. There's a little vague definition I put in there, but
that's almost Alec Guinness.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I think Alec Guinness would be Travolta level,
sure,
even though he didn't feel it at the time.
Yeah, that was a comeback for him because I don't know what Alec Guinness had done prior, right before Star Wars,
within the past 5 years before that. Yeah,
I don't know.
And then I have Guinness level.
Oh, okay.
An older stalwart actor brought in to legitimize, but not actually lead.
Okay.
So
all
that's
right.
Yeah.
So that's
you could have called that Cushing level, I guess.
Sure, that would be I guess that's Cushing level, but that's also you're going to get like Christopher Lee in there.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, Christopher Lee is Count Dooku.
Yeah. What's his name?
Christopher Lee. Doing Count Dooku.
You're going to get not in the Star Wars films, but you're going to get Ian McKellen.
Oh yeah, and as Magneto.
Yeah,
and
as Magneto, as Gandalf, as
yes,
yeah,
a serious Sir actor coming in and legitimizing
and the other one from the Marvel films,
Anthony
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, sure, yeah. Legitimizing this thing.
Yeah.
And then the final level is Proops level. This is borderline cameo level. Familiar face/voice tossed in for fun cameo.
Sure, and I would say that this also, like, at this level, you're going to get people like Anthony Daniels showing up outside of playing C-3PO in the bar scene in Attack of the Clones.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's in there when they're after that shape changer, right?
Yeah, as well as what's his name who played Jar Jar?
Oh yeah, he's in there in the bar scene too.
As well.
What is his name?
I'm drawing a blank.
I am too. Jar Jar.
Yeah,
Real Jar Jar.
Real Jar Jar. And George Lucas falls into this category as well.
GL has one, huh? Where's he at?
He is when Palpatine is right before Palpatine explains the history of Darth Plagueis to Anakin at the Opera House.
Yes.
They show people entering the Opera House, going upstairs.
Okay.
And George Lucas is one of them.
Oh, I got to pull that up soon.
I mean, it's definitely not a speaking role or anything.
Sure, like more of a Hitchcock cameo.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hitchcock, is
he
probably
did in every single movie.
Yeah, that's a great. Not really, I guess.
So maybe
that falls in the cameo.
So maybe the fifth level here is cameo. So like there's the Proops level where it's a character.
Right. Right.
Okay.
So I think that's where a lot of people are.
We'll probably be kind of defining this more as we go.
I think a lot of them are for episode 7.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to be involved with it. Like, people are just showing up on the set. So now we're getting a lot of rumors that Tom Cruise shows up on the set because he did Mission Impossible with JJ.
JJ owes his movie career to Tom.
Yeah.
Tom paid. Keep in mind, the Mission Impossible franchise is bought and paid for by Tom Cruise. He won an action film series, so he made one.
Yeah. He bought the rights to it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, and he handpicked J.J. Abrams to direct the third movie, the TV guy.
Right.
So,
but you also get, rumor has it that, Kevin Smith shows up to the set, invited by J.J.
Yeah.
And rumor has it that he may also have a cameo in Star Wars.
Oh.
The other one, and this one's a little bit of a sticking point for me, but the big one, bigger probably than Tom Cruise being on set, is Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg, who's also worked on Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
With did JJ direct that one as well?
That was the third one. The fourth one's done by. Oh, the fourth one's done by. What's his name? The guy who did Iron Giant and The Incredibles.
Oh yeah, Brad Bird.
Brad Bird. Thank you.
Ratatouille. Well, then how is Simon Pegg connected to JJ? How is he showing up on the set?
I feel like he might have been in the third one. I can't remember. Philip Seymour Hoffman certainly was. All right.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be in it.
Aww. You don't think he filmed one?
That'd be awesome if he showed up as a Jedi ghost.
Oh.
It's an actual ghost.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he's tied in, but it's contentious for him, though, because of his space connection.
Well, it's also a little bit contentious because he despises the prequels.
Well, yeah, in space, that's a reoccurring joke, is that, like, how much he hates the prequels. He works at a comic store, he yells at a little kid about it.
But he's become that character.
It's a really funny
He's
scene.
become that character.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, he is now, like, publicly, as an actor, voicing his hatred for the prequels.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
He,
makes me not want to watch his movies.
He was on WTF, and he talked about being, on Mark Maron's podcast, WTF, and he was talking about, going to Revenge of the Sith premiere. Mm-hmm. He got invited or something.
Mark Maron, who is like the anti-Star Wars guy, he doesn't know anything about Star Wars.
He's kind of the anti-geek guy.
Yeah.
It's not comedy,
but he's also the anti-sports guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. He had a very narrow niche.
He does.
But he said that he ran into George Lucas and got to talk to him briefly, and George Lucas gave him a piece of advice that was like, well, just make sure you're not making the same movie you did 30 years ago. And something along those lines. It was this kind of weird, sad moment.
Oh.
Yeah, the way he said it. So.
Oh. I blame the fans for that.
I do too. Yeah, I'm kicking the balls at your premiere. Ouch.
Yeah.
But
So
if he shows up in the movie, that would kind of suck.
I don't want him in the movie.
I don't either. Good vibes all around.
It's kind of... I mean, he was in Star Trek as Scotty.
That's fine by me, totally.
And...
That was a perfect example of stunt casting.
That was a good example of stunt casting. Yeah. It worked.
Yep.
It only worked... And again, I'm not a Star Trek guy.
Yeah.
So my vision of what Scotty looks like from the original series...
Not like Simon Pegg.
But... Right, that's what I think of him as,
yeah,
right? Not like Simon Pegg.
Exactly.
Right? I think of him as from the movies. So he's gray, got the bushy mustache.
Oh, yeah,
right?
fat.
Right.
Riddled by
but
alcoholism.
But if you look at... Dead.
Yeah.
But if you look at a young... I don't know the actor's name who played
James
Scotty.
Doohan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But if
Jimmy
you look at
Doohan.
him as a young guy,
Mm-hmm.
you can see kind of a reason why Simon Pegg played him.
I mean, he was more athletic and kind of lantern jawed.
Yeah.
But like, I see the casting of Star Wars was fascinating, or Star Trek was fascinating to me, just because it was they had different levels of casting. Like you had the guy who played Kirk, Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be a role that no one can play except for Shatner.
Right.
But he
pulled it off though.
He had him do it. He embodied just the aura of him. He didn't look like him. He didn't really act like him. But like just little things. Like he'd walk on the bridge, Bones, and it was just like nailed it.
He did nail it.
And then there was other ones who like the guy who plays Bones, who was just doing a dead-on impersonation of DeForest Kelley.
All right.
And
I thought he did a good job.
Oh
too.
yeah, it was great. But it was all just different levels for different people.
Right.
Whatever you needed was there. So and then there was stunt casting, like.
I'm gonna go back around to Samuel Jackson in Star Wars.
Here we go.
I think my problem with him is he didn't really act.
Okay, well that is
or he played like a non.
Well, that's a critique.
Samuel Jackson, like Samuel Jackson is known for
big,
Jules,
loud,
over the top, Jules in Pulp Fiction, and what other big movies was he? Snakes on a Plane, Shaft.
I mean, this is a billion.
Yeah,
Black Snake Moan.
Right. He's known for these over the top, loud, boisterous
with
characters.
Vengeance.
Yeah, and he was very toned down in Star Wars.
Yeah,
to the point where a lot of people said, he's bored.
I didn't read like that, personally.
You didn't.
I don't read him as bored. No, I read him as an asshole because the Jedi were kind of assholes.
Yeah, and that goes. I think that goes back to our prequel episode where people don't understand the prequels. That he was kind of an asshole in that movie. Because you're not supposed to really like the Jedi.
And by the time you get to Revenge of the Sith, though, I felt like I really bought in. It's funny. I feel like I'm talking to someone who's really drank the Kool-Aid, but Revenge of the Sith, when he's trying to strike down the Chancellor
Emperor Palpatine.
Chancellor Palpatine at that time, right?
He wasn't. He had. Did he declare himself?
Senator Palpatine. Anyhow, when he's trying to strike down Palpatine, that scene. I mean, it's like I believe the character Mace Windu at that point.
Okay,
for me.
All right. Another problem that people have with Mace Windu or Samuel Jackson.
I just keep wanting to say Mace Windy. Ever since I found out the original name was Mace Windy, it just rolls off the tongue so much better. Mace Windy.
Then, I believe one of the characters, as we're getting off topic, one of the characters that was cut out of the original Star Wars was a female at Tashi Station. And she was, Luke goes to meet up with his friends at Tashi Station, and he finally gets over there.
Get those power converters.
Gets the power converters, and he meets up with Biggs and Tank, and I believe the girl is Windy. So Windy was used in Star Wars, and if it's not Windy, it's Wendy.
Was it supposed to be like Windy, like Peter Pan Windy?
I think so.
Oh.
I think it's really close.
Well,
and
I wonder if this could be a Windy in Episode 7.
I wonder.
Oh, that's exciting.
They also, I think that you can look them up on the internet, like these cutscenes from the original Star Wars. Like they also, Luke's nickname was Wormy.
Weird.
Yeah, like he was kind of the nerdy guy of the group.
I like how we kind of got a peek of that at Phantom Menace when Anakin's like hanging out with his little 8-year-old friends, and they're all talking about things like, "Oh, wizard!" And like,
yeah, Lucas definitely was recycling some stuff that ended up on the editing room floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the problem I was going to say with Samuel Jackson is he requested that he had a purple lightsaber.
Yeah, but supposedly it says got the BMF on it, right?
Yeah,
Bad
right,
motherfucker.
right.
Yeah.
But like, there was no purple lightsabers before that.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, I guess in the EU there was, but I don't think anybody. Yeah.
Who cares?
What's her name had one? Mara Jade had a purple lightsaber. Who knows?
Not
I
really.
do.
Me.
But it was like, here's a movie star making demands on a Star Wars set, and it's like, why can't you just go along with whatever George's vision was? Like, why do you have to be different?
Well, I mean, I think we'll cover this eventually when we do our George episode, but one, I feel like the vision isn't necessarily something set in stone. It's always fluid right to the end.
Absolutely.
And number two, if we're gonna congratulate George for expanding the universe with the prequels, well, hey, Samuel L. got to expand the lightsaber. Now we have purple.
Now we have purple, but we didn't really have like. It's not like they expanded it and it's like, oh yeah, now there's a bunch of purple lightsabers. No, there was only one.
Well, we'll get more.
Only one.
We'll get more.
I don't know.
But
we'll get more. If we're going to get more, are we going to get orange? Are we going to get?
Oh yeah, certainly.
Black? Are we going to get dark?
We have
sabers?
black. We have dark
Yeah,
sabers.
I guess we are going to get.
That's canon. Well, I mean, your critique though of Mace Windu is kind of a critique of Samuel Jackson's career. You know.
Well,
I mean, this is what people usually criticize him on is the fact that he doesn't play characters. He plays Samuel Jackson, except for here and there, like Django. Every now and then he lets it out of the bag and shows acting.
Yes.
But for my thing is, I have a few people in entertainment who I just give an eternal pass to, and one of them Samuel L. Jackson, because he's the Charles Bronson of our time. Easy to critique Charles Bronson in the moment, but now going back, it's like, well, thank God he made all those movies, because I'll never run out of Charles Bronson movies now.
Right.
Same with Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
Well. And while ultimately he did inform the Jedi in a weird way, by the way he played that character, it's like, oh, so the Jedi were kind of assholes. It has become part of this the canon now, where it's like, oh yeah, the Jedi were pompous assholes that need to be brought down.
Right.
And it's kind of neat.
I mean, I guess. All right, I've been hard on Samuel Jackson in the prequels because he's the movie star.
Right.
But the difference between the prequels and the original trilogy is the original trilogy. Wow, I just had a crazy thought, but
okay,
I'll get to it.
Okay. Yeah.
The original trilogy was basically unknown actors.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And here's a stunt. Here's stunt casting that I didn't even think of. Billy D. Williams.
Billy D.
He's a stunt. That's stunt casting, isn't he? He was kind of a name.
I feel like it. Well, were the Colt 45 commercials pre or post?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I mean,
That's a good
I want
point.
to say that. I'm going to have to pull up his Wikipedia. What
He
did
was
do
definitely.
I feel like he was a name. Like, I feel like at that point in my life, I'm seeing Star Wars 1980, so I was 9.
And you saw him and you're like, oh.
Billy D. Like,
Billy D.
kind of like, if I didn't know who Billy D was, at least I was aware that my parents knew he was somebody.
Okay.
So now
I've never
I'm
even
like,
heard of this idea.
like, was that like a real piece of stunt casting? Could we get like Han Solo landing on some planet and it's his old friend, his old gambling buddy, and it's Tom Cruise comes out and he's like, "What are you doing here, you swindler?" And he's wearing sunglasses still.
Oh yeah, totally.
But the point I was going to make was that primarily the original trilogy was unknown actors.
Right.
The main people were unknowns until obviously until Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But Phantom Menace, you had actors that most of them had done other things.
I knew Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman was in Beautiful Girl. She was in Professional. She was. You had Ewan McGregor, who was in countless other movies.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Always showing his
Lock,
penis.
Stock, and Two Smoking. Yeah, I mean his penis was in two more movies than he was. Weirdly.
Yeah. So I feel like Samuel Jackson. I think if he was in a. Although I have a problem with him,
mm-hmm.
I think he would have stood out more if it was just a bunch of unknowns. And it's like, hey, there's Samuel Jackson. Like, it kind of almost works a little bit better because it's like, well, they're all kind of Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
Liam
Neeson known. Yeah, Rob Roy. That was Academy Award for him.
Dark Man.
Oh God, yes, Dark Man.
Yeah.
Nice callback.
Yeah,
I always forget it's him in that.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I'm going through. I'm looking at Billy D's his career here on.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to go a little bit more about 1977. Alec Guinness. So here we go. We got Alec Guinness, well-respected Academy Award winner. Peter Cushing, well-known and respected.
Yes.
The voice of Darth Vader, James Earl Jones, has already been nominated for an Academy Award and won a Tony for The Great White Hope. So, I mean, it's funny because we keep saying unknowns, but really it's a stacked deck of very talented people. Like opposite these unknowns.
It is true. It's true. And yet people today still have a problem if you cast a known person in Star Wars.
I know. Now, to be fair, go back to your Samuel Jackson point, could it have been more enticing? Could the Jedi have been more mysterious? Could I have been more interested in those non-Yoda and Mace Windu Jedi had it not been Samuel L. Jackson? Maybe. But, we like to light a candle here, not curse darkness. I mean, I'm happy with how it all came out. And what's interesting is Samuel L. Jackson escapes the Phantom Menace and the prequels in general unscathed. Career continues to just be phenomenal. He does 3 movies a year every year.
Yes.
You know who does not? Poor Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor.
Poor Ewan McGregor.
What the hell happened to him?
Rising star, cast in Phantom Menace.
And not bad in those movies.
Holy shit! No, I remember at the time of the prequels, even when I was in my deepest, most hateful place, saying that he did a really great job. Because I feel like he really channeled a young Obi-Wan. He was there. He acted. But something happened after those movies, and he's not really in movies anymore. He's in them, but he's in Beginners a while ago, which was a bigger movie for him.
He was in that movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yeah, and he was in that movie with the hurricane. You watched it?
Oh yeah, The Impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah.
That looked like trash.
That was awful. That was just awful.
He's in that movie with being Sarah Malkovich, being what's her name, Julia Roberts. Old Julia Roberts recently.
Good old Julia Roberts.
Sturdy old Julia Roberts.
Old, creaky Julia Roberts. I don't know which one you're talking about. Oh, yeah.
He was in that last year.
Yeah, August something
and he just looked like he was just kind of... I mean, I think that there's 2 things that really brought down Ewan McGregor. Number 1 was being associated with the prequels and the hate.
Number 2, he stopped dropping trow.
Oh, yeah. As soon as he stopped...
If we saw little Obi-Wan in Star Wars...
The other thing that took him down, though, was the... I just totally lost it. The other guy. The guy who plays young Xavier in the new X-Men movies. What's his name?
Oh,
he was
John
McAvoy? McAvoy. Yeah.
I don't know if it's John.
I don't know if it's John either. But he's in The Last King of Scotland.
Yes.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah, he became the new Ewan McGregor.
We didn't need Ewan anymore because we had him. He's younger, stronger, faster, better. And that was it for Ewan.
All
Sad.
right. I need to bring up Billy D's past career before Star Wars, because I think this
So let's take a
this
moment.
definitely
to do that.
cements it as him being stunt cast.
Okay.
Okay, he was Gale Sayers in Brian's Song.
None of those words mean anything. I don't know what that is.
Brian's Song is the great sports movie. He dies. James Caan is in it. It's
that movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
big
I can picture the
tearjerker.
title. Yeah.
sports movie.
James Caan, yeah.
Bringing it all back around, he was in one episode of the TV series Mission Impossible.
Okay.
He was in a movie called Lady Sings the Blues. He was in 1974. He was in The Conversation with
Gene Hackman.
With Gene Hackman.
Yeah, a great film.
Then he was in
That's a Francis Ford Coppola joint.
I believe so.
I wonder if that's how he got in on Star Wars.
It's quite possible.
Yeah,
It's quite possible.
The Zoetrope
I've heard
connection.
of this movie. I don't know. I don't think I've ever watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Saying the title right now might be racist.
Okay.
Bingo Long and the Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings.
All right. Once again, I'm not even sure what you said. What is that?
I don't know, but I remember
Bingo
this
All-Stars and
the Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to bleep that out.
What's his name is in it? Richard Pryor.
Oh, okay.
So
Sure. All right.
he was on one episode of The Jeffersons.
Okay. Well, that he was a working black
And
man
that was
in
in
the 70s. What are you
in
gonna do?
1978. So then he goes from that to a couple TV movies,
Mm-hmm.
and then on to Empire Strikes Back, and then he makes in 1981 he makes Nighthawks with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I think Billy Dee was definitely a name prior to Star Wars.
He was certainly someone I was on casting sheet lists.
Yeah, so I think he works as being stunt cast.
Okay.
That feels like stunt cast.
Allowed.
That feels like stunt cast.
So, all right. So the original trilogy, rife with stunt casting.
Yes.
Alec Guinness, James Earl Jones, Peter Cushing, Billy Dee, and then we go over to the prequels, and we have an even bigger list. We've got Christopher Lee, would have been Backstreet Boys. Is that scene available? Can I YouTube that?
I want to say that it is somewhere. I believe it's probably on the cutscenes on the DVDs.
I'll have to find that.
Yeah.
We have Samuel L. Jackson, Ewan McGregor, the two-headed announcer, Greg Proops.
Greg Proops, again, for people who don't know, he's the thick-framed glasses-wearing guy who's known for being on...
Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Both the British and American version.
Yeah, he has a long-running podcast.
I've never listened to it.
I've tried. It's a special brand of humor he has.
Okay.
I respect the guy. I don't know if I respected his humor.
Chancellor Valorum.
Chancellor Valorum. Now that was a key piece of stunt casting.
Great stunt casting.
In the prequels. Was he in more than just the first one?
Chancellor Valorum, I believe, is only in the first one.
He's only in the first one, yeah.
But yeah, that's Terrence Stamp from
Terrence
Zod.
Zod, yeah.
Another Superman connection there.
Yeah, so...
I have a special soft spot for Chancellor Valorum, in large part because I listened to Cloak of Deception, the prequel to the prequel book. The book right before the Phantom Menace, which is supposedly kind of still canon because it's written by the same guy who wrote Phantom Menace.
Okay.
And I don't know, he's just such a tragic, impotent character, and you can see it in the scenes too. Like there's a part where he's voted out, where you just see him be crushed.
Yeah,
it's just
it's just such a impotent is a good word for that role.
Yeah.
Can we just hang on the Star Wars or Superman connection for a second here? Okay,
certainly. Always good.
This is well, let's just before we go there, I want to throw out two actors that did not star in Star Wars, but they appeared in Star Wars.
Okay.
Okay. That actually went on to become bigger names They were not, by no means were they considered.
I got one too. So let's see.
Stunt casting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But they were in the movie, and they did not you didn't know who they were at the time, right?
Just background players.
Right. One of them, John Ratzenberger.
Who's John Ratzenberger? That name rings a bell.
He is Cliff Clavin from Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
He's Pixar's Good Luck Charm.
Yes. What was he?
Heard that. He was in Empire Strikes Back. He may have been the deck officer on Hoth. Deck officer.
Yeah.
Then I'll see you in hell.
Yeah.
He was there, I believe. So Cliff Clavin is known for having kind of a bushy mustache. I believe John Ratzenberg. I think it's Ratzenberg.
Sure.
I believe he did not have a bushy mustache as like one of the rebel soldiers on Hoth, so he's a little bit harder to recognize.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that Cliff voice.
Mm-hmm. He's also in the House films. Not House, the TV show, but House, the horror comedies.
The horror comedies, yeah. Right. Another one, Treat Williams.
Treat Williams. Now, that's another name I know, but I can't picture.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pull up. Treat Williams is known for, Internet Movie Database, don't fail me. Treat Williams, I believe, was one of the
great name.
Imperial officers in Empire.
Oh.
Okay, Treat Williams is known for Everwood, the TV series.
Okay.
He's been known for more than just TV movies, but looks like he was in Hawaii Five-0.
Okay, Hawaii Five-0. Yeah.
Actor.
I know the name so well. I'm sure it's a face
Williams,
I would recognize.
He's definitely like a 70s, 80s actor.
He's a character actor.
Yeah, a little bit more of TV acting.
Well, I got one for you that's a slightly bigger than...
He was in 127 Hours. Who knew that?
Oh, wow.
He was in Howl. Apparently he's connected to...
James Franco hook up. Nice.
Treat Williams, very, very leading man type of look to him. Although I don't think he ever, he obviously never made it to
never broke through.
Big character actors. But before you get to yours, so this one I brought these two names up because this is in part the Superman connection, or at least the alleged Superman connection in Star Wars.
Okay.
My uncle, who is a huge Star Wars fan as well, although on more of the collecting end of the spectrum.
Sure. I think it's a spectrum.
Like it is a spectrum, yeah. He swears that Christopher Reeve is in it.
Is in Star Wars?
Is in Star Wars.
Really?
As one of the... and actually has a speaking role in Empire.
Okay.
He is one of the... so you have the Star Destroyer deck. Okay, you have kind of the catwalk area that Darth Vader is walking on. It's kind of raised above, and then you have the guy sitting at the computer terminals below, right? One of them, at a certain point, turns his head and speaks up and says something about that they lost the Falcon or something. And my uncle to this day swears that that's Christopher Reeve, a young Christopher Reeve, and I'm like, it's not. It's not, because Christopher Reeve was Superman in 1978, so he's
filming Superman.
Yeah. It's not him. Yeah. But I cannot talk my uncle out of this. To the point where if we watch Empire together, there's heated arguments, and we end up turning the movie off.
He's like freeze framing it, like that's
we
him.
freeze framed it.
That's like when I try to replay that scene in my head, all I can do is go to Spaceballs. And it's like, is everybody on the ship an asshole? But switching gears from the OT, going to the prequels, we have Natalie Portman's handmaiden who gets blown up. That is none other than all I want to say is Natalie Portman. It's the woman from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's
Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley.
Was she
Keira
the
Knightley.
one that she got blown up?
I don't know if she got blown up, but she is the one who awarded.
She was.
She awarded R2.
She awarded R2. Yes, I think
little Keira Knightley.
I think. Okay, so I think in the Star Wars timeline. So Queen Amidala, she's queen in Phantom Menace,
Right.
And she has her handmaidens and her decoys because she's the queen,
Yep.
right? And then by the time we get to the opening scene of Attack of the Clones, she is no longer queen.
Right. There's
Right.
another girl who's a
There's
queen
another
now.
girl that's queen. So why did she get blown up? Why were there decoys then?
Wait,
I'm getting confused now.
did the did the decoy get blown up in the first one or the second one?
Second one.
Okay, you're right.
First scene of the second movie was
Yeah, why did she have decoys?
the silver ship is landing on
yeah.
the platform in Coruscant.
Post 9/11.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, that definitely was played into it.
yeah, no question.
So
In any case, the young Keira Knightley played
Keira
a
Knightley,
decoy.
yes.
And in the Phantom Menace, she was up for the role of Queen Amidala, but lost out to Natalie Portman. And for better or worse,
yeah, I guess so.
depending on your mileage.
Here we go. Treat Williams actually is credited in Empire Strikes Back. Oh, I'm wrong. He plays an Echo base trooper.
Oh, okay. Good old Echo base.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Prior to Empire Strikes Back, he was in 1941.
Oh,
Steven Spielberg.
the Steven Spielberg bomb.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Which
his first taste of defeat.
I love that movie.
I've never watched it.
I love that movie with all my heart.
Weirdly, I played the Nintendo video game.
Really? There was a Nintendo video game?
Well, I'm not sure. It's a childhood memory. So there's 1941. This game might have been called 1942, and I might have thought that it was a sequel.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't a sequel.
Okay.
It was just 1942.
Because that was when the war started.
Yes.
Yeah, as I said it, I was thinking it out loud, and I
Yes.
was like, I always
19
associate, because
yes.
they had the video games on one side and they had the movies on the other side, so I'd look to one side and see 1941, look to the other side 1942.
The movie 1941 is a prequel to the war.
And see, it was extra confusing because there is a Goonies 2 video game.
Okay.
So there's a Goonies, and there's a Goonies 2 Nintendo game.
Right.
So you could see where I could make the connection.
1941 is just a ridiculous movie. Pearl Harbor, I believe it's
Belushi, right? Belushi and
Aykroyd, Treat Williams.
Treat Williams.
Williams, of course.
I mean, the great Treat Williams.
Treat Williams. But it's just a ridiculous concept of, America is afraid that the Japanese are going to bomb California.
Okay.
So it's just a bunch of fear.
I bet the movie plays better today than it did then.
I think that it's one of Spielberg's greatest.
Wow.
I think it's
You heard it here first,
so
folks.
ridiculously stupid, but great. It's just the fear of war and the fear of, propaganda and all this crazy stuff. It's great. I love it. But I was also a big John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd fan. SNL.
We're getting way off topic. But did you ever see Did you ever see the other one they did where they switched? Where they
Neighbors.
Neighbors.
Yeah, that was awful.
Really?
That was awful.
Where Belushi plays the straight-laced one?
Yeah, that was no, it's not
That
good.
was bad, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I won't mind.
You know what? It might play better today, though. Who knows?
Maybe we'll do a Belushi Aykroyd marathon eventually.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay. So moving on from the films. Stunt casting, it's been around forever. But as the canon grows, would the Clone Wars have much stunt casting?
The cartoon series, yes, it had great stunt casting.
Okay.
I know you're looking at your notes there, but one of the best stunt casting in the Clone Wars, Mark Hamill.
Ah, yes, as Darth Bane.
Plays Darth Bane.
Yeah, the ghost Darth Bane.
Yeah. Great. He's Mark
I
Hamill.
did not realize it was him initially, but then when I went back and listened to it again, I was like, I'll be damned.
Couldn't tell you. I probably could listen to it 100 times, still be like, I guess that's Mark Hamill, because I've never watched.
Oh, you don't watch the
Batman.
Batman, yeah, so you don't know the Joker voice. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely him. Yeah, that was really good stunt casting. To play both the Scion of the Force, the Hope, the Great New Hope, and the Old Evil.
Yeah.
Canon. Both canon. I don't think I keep bringing that up. Canon. And of course, because Liam Neeson can't stop working, they got him to come in and play Qui-Gon again on the TV show.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. They got Force Ghost Qui-Gon played by Liam Neeson, the actor.
The actor.
So.
The comedic actor, Liam Neeson.
And
Katie Sackhoff. She plays a Mandalore.
Oh yeah, well yeah, from BSG, from Battlestar Galactica, and the show I'm trying to start watching now, Longmire.
Oh yeah, which is canceled. So good luck with that.
Well, it gives me a good chance to catch up.
So then you had a big stunt casting.
Yeah, stunt casting / cameo, which is because he did so much. Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni plays numerous characters.
Does the voice of Imbo, Jacoli, Spots Podal, Enforcer / tour guide droid, and Black Sun Leader. The unnamed Black Sun Leader. It feels very awkward when you can have like a leader in the Star Wars universe and it doesn't have a name.
Right.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Then get on that. It's supposed to be a toy.
Here's one, because I knew he was involved in it, but I didn't know how. Mm-hmm. Also did a voice on the Clone Wars.
Okay.
George Takei.
Ah, yes.
George Takei from Sulu, from the original Star Trek.
And from Heroes.
Yep.
Isn't it weird that for one red hot minute, Heroes had such a cachet, and now mentioning it is like mentioning, like, what?
Yeah, why were you on that show?
Yeah, what was that?
Why did you do that?
Like, for one season, it was just red hot, and then the writer's strike happened and killed it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, going forward, the only confirmed stunt casting I know of, other than, Tom Cruise, which the news we broke here tonight.
Yes, right.
Is Max von Sydow.
Max von Sydow definitely is playing the Alec Guinness role in the new. I mean, basically, we don't know what he's playing, but he's kind of filling that role if he has if he's on screen as Max von. Was it
Sydow?
Sydow. So what has Max done?
Max von Sydow is, he is a deep canon of powerful roles where he's played in Ingmar Bergman films such as The Seventh Seal, such as Hour of the Wolf.
Okay.
He's played in most recently that I can think of. He was in Martin Scorsese's Shutter Island.
Oh, okay.
This is
you're missing the big one though.
What's that?
He was the priest in The Exorcist.
God damn it, you're right. Yes, yes, he
the
was.
The non-horror fan trumps the horror.
Yeah,
fan.
He was Father Verden.
I don't know. I just knew he was in The Exorcist.
I used to know that priest's name because I had Father Verrier.
Okay.
Because I had the same priest when I was a kid in church, and I remember going up to a.
You had The Exorcist priest?
Yeah, I remember going up to the priest once, and I was like, Father Verrier. I was like, you got the same name as the priest in The Exorcist, and he just kind of looked at me like, huh, and I was like, okay.
He slapped you, and he's like, the Spirit of Christ compels you.
yeah. Yeah, and I put my pants back on, and it was like, that was over.
Catholic humor.
Anyhow. So, yeah. So, stunt casting.
Stunt casting. What else do we have about stunt casting?
It's been around forever.
It's been around. The fans who complain about it say it's going to ruin Star Wars if you cast a big name. Shut up.
Well,
no.
Here's my question.
I guess I'm on the fence about it because I don't want to be
the. You're bothered by Samuel L.
I don't want to be. I don't want to have. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Just as I was a kid going in to see the original Star Wars and not knowing who Alec Guinness was,
mm-hmm.
You had kids in the 90s going to see, or kids of the 90s going in to see Phantom Menace, not knowing who Samuel L. Jackson was. They didn't know he was Jules in Pulp Fiction. I'm talking about little kids. Little kids.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
I
feel maybe it's hard for me to picture a world where I don't know who Samuel L. Jackson is.
Right. But I think that's what the old what the fans are complaining about.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fans forget what it's like to be a kid.
Yeah.
You don't know who these people are. I didn't know Harrison Ford. I didn't know Han Solo had a name other than Harrison Ford.
Right.
I didn't know. I didn't know that until I was, started to, reach my, preteens maybe.
I would say a lot of kids didn't know who Ewan McGregor was.
Right.
Certainly, because I mean, like, what kids were watching?
And kids now watching it all from scratch. The kids of the fans.
Yeah,
the
kids
original
are the fans of the fans.
Yeah, they're watching these movies. They don't know that, Samuel L. Jackson brings all this baggage with him.
Yeah.
They don't know that Ewan McGregor, dropped trout in all these movies. Oh, what a surprise when they do find that out. They don't know that Alec Guinness, was in Bridge on the River Kwai.
Right.
They don't know this stuff. And they just think that they're characters.
And it all just leads back into making more great film fans who,
so
dig back
why not
deeper and deeper.
Have like, as much as I'm like, oh, I agree with the fans, it's going to take you out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a tradition that Star Wars has always had.
And I would say that there is a balance. Right?
Mm.
Like, I mean, that first movie certainly strikes the balance very well. Like, you've got, how many? Like, 3 Academy Award nominated people?
Right.
But, the way you have them stacked, like, one's just a voice, one's just a background character. It's like, and also you brought up that fact today to me that you only hear James Earl Jones for 9 minutes. He's only on, like, Darth Vader's only in 9 minutes.
Has only 9 minutes of screen presence in the original Star Wars.
So there's definitely a balance to using these powerful stunt casting things.
Right.
Stunt casting, much like the Force, something that can be used for good or evil.
Well, here's another thing before we end this. I want to bring this up because I think this is an important part of just the world we live in nowadays compared to the world that was 1977.
Mm-hmm.
Allow me to scroll back in time on Internet Movie Database for a minute. Man, Mark Hamill did a lot of cartoon voices.
Mark Hamill worked, he's been a consistent worker forever.
Wow, he did a lot of voices. Wow.
Working actor. That's what it's all about. Just keep...
so that's the thing I want to bring up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, 1977, Star Wars A New Hope comes out.
Yes.
Okay? Mark Hamill stars as Luke Skywalker. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
1978, Corvette Summer.
Right.
Right? By no means a blockbuster.
Okay.
Okay?
I wasn't sure how that performed, actually.
Okay. He was also in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
And Car Wreck.
And a car wreck, but that's not on an Internet Movie Database. Then he makes basically one movie between 1977 and 1980.
Okay.
Okay, before Empire Strikes Back comes out, right? And then it looks like he's in...
Realistically, he's probably too busy doing all of the press tour as that movie rolls across America.
But, okay, so then Empire Strikes Back comes out in 1980. He also does The Big Red One, a World War II film, The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
Ooh, I like that one.
Britannia Hospital, and then Return of the Jedi comes out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The point I'm trying to make is, like, back then, things moved slower.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he wasn't in a lot. Especially for a kid. A kid isn't going to go see The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. A kid's not going to go see Corvette Summer. If you're, say you're 10 when Star Wars, the original Star Wars comes out, 13 when Empire comes out, you're probably not seeing Corvette Summer.
Right.
So you only know Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
From my experience.
Yeah.
I may have seen Corvette Summer, but from my experience, I only knew Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker between 1977 and 1983. That's all I really knew him as. He didn't. It wasn't like he was doing a lot.
No, I'm following you.
Right?
That's something. Keep going.
Okay. So now you have the present cast.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a John Boyega who did Attack the Block, and he was also
which isn't a well-seen film.
Yeah, and then you have, let's say that these are the two leads, John Boyega and Daisy Ridley. Daisy Ridley has done zilch. She's done like some internet thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no one knows who
no
she
one,
is.
No one's really seen any, full-length feature film that she's done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Episode 7 comes out 2015. If they go with, the typical schedule for Star Wars movies, 3 years later, Episode 8 comes out, 2018.
Yeah.
Right? How many movies is she going to do between 2015 and 2018?
Oh my God! Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Things move faster.
Agreed.
So she is no longer just known as being whoever she's playing in.
Yeah, whoever
Episode
she is.
7.
Yeah, she's
right?
not just Mace Windy or whatever her name
right.
is. Windy Mace.
Yeah, she's not, Jaina Solo or whoever she's playing, right?
Yeah.
She's now a name. Like this movie is going to make all these people names, and they're going to be in countless movies between Episode 7 and Episode 8.
Right.
Well,
and another point, to that point, I mean, to me, I'm most excited to see Mark Hamill in the film. That is what I'm, hands down, most excited about with Episode 7.
I had a thought about this.
But what you said last episode was that it's kind of nice because he's sort of preserved the mystique, and what intentionally or not, by not having other blockbuster movies to associate him with.
Right.
So
he's been a voice,
his
a character,
face
or a voice
is
actor.
always kind of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is, like, Harrison Ford, not so much. Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford, more so than Samuel L. Jackson appearing on the screen, takes me out. Because it's like, they're going to have to work their asses off.
They are going to have to work their asses
make
off.
me see Han Solo and not Harrison Ford. Not grumpy-ass old Harrison Ford.
Another
earring-wearing.
Point of contention with the
earring.
fans.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, the fourth Indiana Jones movie, The Crystal Skulls.
Yeah.
Did you see him as Indiana Jones, or did you see him as Harrison Ford?
I saw him as Indiana Jones in two scenes.
Okay.
Very clearly.
All right.
That was one scene was when was on the college campus.
Okay.
And the other scene was when Shia LaBeouf and him they're doing some goofy thing, trying to get in some old Incan thing, and like people jump out of the walls, which was goofy. But then like they have to get into this passageway, and like it opens and closes in a weird way, and Indy goes in, it closes, and Shia LaBeouf's alone, and he's like Mutt Jones rather, is alone, and he's like kind of freaking out, and then Indy opens it again and like shines the light on him, and then like gives him that look, and I was like, there he is, that's Indy.
All right. I would say
that was good.
I would say that for me, I'm going to give Harrison Ford all the credit in the world. Although I didn't necessarily enjoy the movie, probably because of the stunt casting of Shia LaBeouf.
Sure.
Right? That was that's kind of stunt casting, right?
Oh, certainly.
I thought that every scene that Harrison Ford did as Indy, I felt him as Indy. I really did. I actually was like, well, at least I got Indiana Jones.
I did. You know what? I did buy in also when he was being interrogated at one point, and they talk about his wartime efforts and this and that. I liked that a lot.
This is going to be like our
post 9/11.
Our take on the fourth Indiana Jones.
Sure.
I like that Harrison Ford played him as a wiser, not as risk-taking Indiana Jones.
Slightly more jaded.
Yeah, he was just a little bit more careful in a way.
I mean, I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast or not, but like, we did a little bit because I bought in on the concept.
Yeah.
Like, I bought in on the concept that it was a sci-fi movie because it's the 50s.
Sure.
As opposed to a Nazi movie because it was the 40s. I thought that was very cool. But, I still like the idea of it being like a swan song, a coda. It's not part of a trilogy. It's what happens when your hero rides off in the sunset, as he did in 3. You know?
Sure.
Yeah, but I only watched the movie once.
I've only watched the movie once as well.
I don't want to...
Part of me...
Cause I had a good time in the theater, and I walked out... I had brainwashed myself when I walked out to being like, it wasn't perfect, but it was fine, I enjoyed it, and that's it.
I feel like if I had to go back to it today, I would watch every scene that didn't have CGI in it, and I would probably enjoy it.
Maybe.
Because I think
CGI
I think everything that everything that was real in the movie felt real.
Yeah.
And everything that was CGI was just really just blatant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I didn't mind Shia LaBeouf. I didn't mind bringing back Karen Allen.
Yeah. Karen Allen.
I didn't mind, Indy being old. I didn't
Karen
mind
Allen
any
was happy to be there.
Yeah, I didn't mind any of that. But I minded, the ants being a little bit too CGI.
Those fucking ants.
The
car chase.
The car chase. The
swinging with the monkeys.
Swinging with the monkeys. Like, I minded all of that.
Yeah.
I didn't, but Indy just being Indy, I could watch. I could watch that. Like, I don't care how old he is. So,
that's true. You know what? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You sold me. I'm going with you on that. Yeah.
Right? Like, if I could just cut up the movie and just watch Harrison Ford's performance as Indy, I'd be fine with that.
So your message is, quit being a hater on Harrison Ford, JP. Go with the flow. He's going to be fine as Han Solo. Because here's the thing. Here's
another thing.
Okay.
And obviously we're doing a Star Wars podcast, not an Indiana Jones podcast.
They're linked.
They are linked, obviously. But
yeah.
I am a bigger Han Solo fan than I am an Indiana Jones fan.
Yeah, well, it's a purer thing.
It's
like,
if
not an
I had to
archetype,
pick the two characters, I would pick Han Solo in a minute.
Well, because, to me, part of the thing about Han Solo, then this is why it's going to be hard for Harrison Ford, is that there's an element of Han Solo that's really tied to a certain point in a man's life. This, certain point of, latter youth, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, I just don't know how he's going to be able to get that essence again. Because it was really about having a guy who has all the time in the world, but it's kind of coming to an end. You know what I mean? He's maybe I'm projecting. I'm about to turn 30 here, but he's but I mean, he's he's got all these adventures that are never spoken, but you can just tell it by looking at him. I don't know. He has this roguish charm. Things that he did things that would be creepy if an old man did them. It's hard for me to project what that character is going to look like when you add 30 plus years to him.
I don't know what that character is going to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, we're way off topic on what this episode was about.
Not exactly, because
Harrison Ford is the stunt casting.
Harrison Ford has become stunt casting.
Yeah, that's true. He's in Expendables 3.
I mean, yes, exactly. And the fact that he
was in. Here's great goddamn stunt casting.
Okay.
All right?
Hit me.
Anchorman 2.
Oh,
Harrison Ford.
Yes,
Harrison Ford is
he was good.
Stunt cast in Anchorman 2.
Yes.
That is great.
And that was perfect stunt casting.
It was perfect stunt casting.
Yeah. But it is interesting to see how he's transitioned into this. So he's been stunt cast in a few different things, starting with the Jimmy Kimmel bits, and now he's doing this thing where he's gonna have to act to do this,
which is what I think he did with Indiana Jones. I think he was acting.
I agree.
I
agree. I feel like he was trapped in a production problem.
Yeah, the production.
But the fact that they elevated the Han Solo character to not just be a supporting character, but now he's co-lead. That's what they said, right?
They did say that.
But that was before he broke the ankle.
Well, filming has resumed, and apparently it's right on schedule. Everything is flying.
Co-lead.
Did they say co-lead or
that's how they described it?
Is it lead?
I heard co-lead, but
okay.
But maybe you're actually more in touch with rumors.
Well, I mean, it's all rumors still.
Yes.
We still haven't gotten really official anything.
So I mean, because what I'm saying is, Samuel L. Jackson comes in as a straight up supporting character, as a character actor, playing a supporting character, and you read that as stunt casting because you know him so well.
Yes.
And you couldn't get around the fact that it was Samuel L. Jackson. Now, old-ass Harrison Ford is not just a supporting character, but a co-lead playing a character he played when he was a young man. You know, and this is post-Witness, this is post-Jack Ryan films, this is post...
This is hard.
Indiana Jones?
This is hard because, I mean...
That's stunt casting.
Like, this is hard for... I mean, in the world of franchise actors, you know, or franchise movies, right? You know, it's hard for an actor to be defined by two very iconic roles.
Sure.
You know, Harrison Ford was defined by Han Solo and Indiana Jones.
And Jack Ryan. A little bit.
Never saw him.
Really?
I may have saw one. I don't know.
You know what's funny is I bleed them all together. I even throw in like Witness. Sometimes I throw in Regarding. Oh my God, Regarding Henry.
Regarding Henry.
J.J. Abrams joint. He wrote
Was
that.
he really?
He wrote that.
Oh,
movie.
nice.
Great movie too.
Yeah. Interesting. It's hard to deny an actor like to have like what was he supposed to do? Not have a career,
right?
I mean,
especially Harrison Ford, one of the most charismatic, lovable actors of our time.
I mean, Mark Hamill. I'm not saying Mark Hamill didn't have a career, but he definitely had his career went off screen.
I like to believe that he chose to do that and to preserve the power.
It's quite possible. Like, the more I read about the secret history of Star Wars book, like, Mark Hamill was definitely, like at every chance, George Lucas was bending his ear and no one else's.
That's awesome.
At least of the cast members.
I love it.
I'm like, so, Mark, like, you know, like, I feel like George was, like, just sat Mark Hamill down one day and he's like, look, you're always going to be Luke Skywalker anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Just don't fight it.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
This is the Force.
I'll pay you.
So, you know what this reminds me of, actually? And I think you'll like this analogy. It reminds me of rock and roll musicians of the 60s. They had no concept that A, any of them would live beyond 30, and B, that they would be able to continue to do this up into their 70s.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the Rolling Stones in 1967 did not know that in 2000 and when was the last time that they've done things? I don't know.
Done
anything.
Like they toured last year.
There you go. And that in 2013 they would still be touring as the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Like that there was nothing to compare that to.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I feel like Star Wars is very similar in that way. You know, like
I can see
thought
that. I can see that.
That this movie they did was going to blow up and be a franchise, and it was going to continue to go on, and that it's something they could come back to in their retirement age.
Well, Mark Hamill knew.
One.
I mean, are we always like from now until the end of time? Like, are we always going to just consider Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark? Like, he's so tied to that character now.
It's weird,
though.
Like,
he's got a new movie coming out, and it's definitely, I walked past the movie theater today, and I saw the poster for it, and I was like, wow, that's aimed for, my parents. It's a different audience. It's aimed for. It's the judge. It's a courtroom drama, I guess. Like courtroom dramas, like who's going to see that? Like let's just have movies. Again, we're going back way off topic here, but like our movies are becoming like the thrill rides. Of the new era. Like instead of people can't afford to take the entire family out to whatever amusement park. Is nearby. That costs a fortune, and these rides are ridiculous. Like, just
dangerous.
They just try to find different ways to almost kill people. But like movies nowadays, they're less about like going to see a story, and they're more about just like giving the latest thrill ride.
Sure, yeah, and also like I'm a huge movie guy, and I barely made it out to the movies at all this summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's Well, it's kind of like what we were talking about last episode. This idea that it's all becoming this kind of, nation of children, where it's film. Like eventually we could literally get to the world where all films are Star Wars.
All films are Marvel. All films are Star Wars.
Yeah.
All TV is DC.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not giving DC movies.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's funny. At some point, we'll have to get like the opinion of a Gen 3 fan, because I feel like you and I are too old, because like even when you talk about like Marvel, and like clearly Marvel has made a big enough dent that it's here to stay on some level,
right?
And like I've been reading their comics forever, but like when you compared it to Star Wars, I'm like, well, that's no Star Wars. And it's like, well, yeah, that's not necessarily true. It's like that's like being like, well, that's.
I did have a thought. This goes back to last week's episode, and we were talking about the future of Star Wars and what we want from Star Wars.
Right.
And I said that I always wanted Star Wars to be pushing the medium forward. And like it was always pushing technology forward.
Yeah.
I wanted to correct myself. They are pushing the medium forward with the new movie.
Yeah. How so? By bringing practical effects back?
No, not at all. That's a step backwards. But
arguably.
By this whole idea, and there's been articles about this on the internet, of large multi-platform, multimedia continuity.
Yeah.
This is large, long-going storytelling. Mm-hmm. Something that has not been ever achieved before.
Right.
Marvel. The comic books, I guess, would be the example of where it's been tried, and you've had multiple reboots and retcons. Soap operas are also brought into this mix.
Sure, certainly.
But there's also, you've had, this character has amnesia, his, mind's been erased, you've had constant trickery, plot tricks to restore
the status quo, or
continuity. To bring back the element of surprise into storytelling.
Oh, sure,
right?
Sure.
We all know that Captain America is not going to die.
Right.
But then he does die.
Yes. And we all know he's going to come back.
Right.
But how it's about like prolonging that expectation.
And what they're saying with Star Wars, with the new, Star Wars moving forward from this point, is it's all going to move forward in apparently a way that has never been done before.
Okay, so this. We keep trying to close the episode, but you keep bringing up really good topics. So that's an interesting idea. So right now, Marvel was kind of the first people to show how to do this in terms of like they've started bringing these movies together in this very organic way.
Yes.
And now the comics have had to kind of retrofit to make that work. Like Nick Fury is a white man in the comics,
right? And
so they do these like awkward things that they reveal that Nick Fury has a half black son who only has one eye.
Right.
Or no, he doesn't. He loses the eye in the storyline, and like so then within like after one storyline, suddenly Nick Fury's gone or dead or out somewhere, and now we have a new Fury who's also named Nick Fury Jr. and he's a black guy with a thing that looks like Samuel L. Jackson. It's like
that's how that works.
Yeah, and it's like. But like that's kind of clunky.
It is clunky, right?
Whereas Star Wars has this fresh sheet and it's got starting with a fresh blank slate and has a ass load of money to like make this all work.
Right.
It's interesting, but like so with Marvel, my hope was because you just said like Steve Rogers dies and he comes back and it's not. My hope is that like you said like Samuel Robert Downey Jr. is so tied to Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like he's getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, someone else will have to play him, and like the question
they're
is,
afraid to make that announcement.
The question is like, how will they play that? Because like, what I long for is there was a time in comic books when it wasn't expected that continuity would just keep rebooting,
right?
And like that time would never pass. It was expected that time would pass in real time up until like the 14th Superman story by Simon and Schuster. Siegel and
Okay,
Schuster.
all right.
Because like time continued to pass, and then they did a story called the K Metal of Krypton.
Okay.
In the K Metal of Krypton, Superman and Lois Lane are trapped in a mine, and this is the first appearance of what would literally be called kryptonite. So he's got a weakness, and it looks like they're going to die. And he reveals to her that he is Superman. And like all this stuff happens, and DC put their hand down and said, National at the time, said, "Oh, we can't do that yet. We got to keep this love triangle thing going." And they squashed the story and took it away from them.
Wow.
And that was the first time a corporate entity had like, this is done. We have to just preserve this, and for the next 60 years, we're going to tell the same story.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but now a corporate entity is running the Star Wars storytelling.
Right. But they are seemingly going a different way. They're not.
They keep saying that this is the big thing that the new Star Wars movies are going to accomplish. That no one else has ever accomplished before is one continuous story that goes in all different media directions and tells the story, and there's
no end in
no
sight.
no one ever says reboot, no one ever says retcon, no one ever says, no one's saying what the tricks are going to be.
Right.
They're just saying, no, it all counts.
It's going to keep going.
It's going to keep going.
Well, it's certainly exciting, and I'm sure no matter what they end up doing, there'll be plenty of stunt casting to keep things current.
Yeah, sure. I would.
Sure.
Well, no, I was
Trying
going
to close out the episode. You're like, yeah, whatever.
No, I was like, I had a thought that would like make this episode go like probably another half hour long, and I don't want to even throw it out because I'm afraid.
We're not fired, right?
Future stunt casting.
Oh yeah.
Who's worthy of being a stunt? Who's worthy of being stunt cast in Star Wars movies?
Oh, man, see, I'm the worst person at this because literally it's anyone that I like remotely. So I'm always like, because if you would have asked me last year, I probably would have said Rihanna.
Easier question. Who's too big of a name to appear in Star Wars? Like we threw out Tom Cruise,
and I literally think Tom Cruise could appear as an Imperial officer.
And yeah, that's the thing.
I think that could work.
But Tom Cruise has been he's known for he played a big fat bald guy in Tropic Thunder. He played a vampire. Like he's done parts where he's broken the Tom Cruise persona.
Oh yeah,
right?
and I'd like to see him.
Right?
I'd actually like to see him decked out like Valkyrie style.
Sure.
Like when he was the Nazi.
Right.
Like that'd be perfect.
Like I would say, and nothing against him because I love him as an actor, but like George Clooney.
Oh,
George
I thought
Clooney.
We were talking about Tom Cruise.
No.
Like, yeah, I love him as an actor too. Yeah. He's great.
But George Clooney, like he shows up
too big.
I don't think he fits in the Star Wars universe.
Afraid not.
He doesn't fit.
Afraid not. And also, just after the Batman thing is always going to hang over our heads.
He was stuck. He was just. He admits that.
He says he played him gay.
That's good.
Did you hear that?
That should be.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. He's like, yeah, they didn't write him that way, but I played him that way.
Right.
They gave me nipples. What was I supposed to do?
That's good.
Yeah.
I respect the guy.
Yeah,
What actor is just like, no, he cannot be near Star Wars?
Probably Bill Murray.
Really? Bill Murray?
Yeah.
Bill Murray also has been stunt cast.
Oh, certainly.
In
Zombieland.
Zombieland.
Yeah.
Really? Bill Murray can't be in Star Wars?
Well, maybe. Maybe there's a place for Bill Murray. There's probably a place for Bill Murray everywhere.
Oh, you just backed down.
Yeah, it's true. I did back down. Who's a big one? Who's
Seth Rogen?
Yeah,
Seth Rogen
probably
can't be in
not.
Star Wars.
Probably not.
Can't be.
But by that same token, neither can Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg.
But who's a big actor right now? Johnny Depp? Can Johnny Depp slide in here?
Yeah, because he's done makeup, so he could do.
He's done makeup, and also I think an important thing about stunt casting is your career has to have a downturn. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't think stunt casting is as good if you're hot.
Sure.
You know?
Keanu Reeves. Sci-Fi Connection.
But
Sci-Fi Connection's hard.
I just like him so much. But yeah, you're right.
Sci-Fi Connection is
he's part of the
so
Matrix.
tied to
He's part of the Matrix. He can't go. Sorry.
To one Sci-Fi Connection.
God, I wish they would make another Matrix. Though.
Give it time.
It'll happen. Start a Matrix podcast. What else is who? What is a? It's weird. I'm like blanking on who's a movie.
Can Chris Pine? Chris Pine can't be like he's.
Yeah, he's Star Trek.
Yeah, he's tied himself.
Theoretically, the antithesis of Star Wars.
Yeah, he's tied himself to this. You know, like Zachary
Though he did
Quinto.
play as Jack Ryan.
True. That's the thing is anything goes nowadays. But is Star Wars that sacred ground? There's like no, sorry, you can't do it. Can't do it.
It'll be interesting to see what JJ does in terms of like how sacred is this? You know, can he bring in his Tom Cruise? Can he? Or is because it's a weird thing to like it's a weird fine line to walk because I don't want it to be. I think we've kind of crossed over into like the after show just bullshit
we did.
stuff.
Yeah, we totally did.
But they can't. I don't want them to be too reverent, but I don't want them to be too irreverent either. Like I want them to like it needs to be like trying to please Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Difficult job.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington. I feel like he could show up. Even though he's massive. Because his career's also in a downturn.
But Morgan Freeman can't.
No.
Yeah.
No. Sorry.
Morgan.
Sorry,
Morgan. He can't do it. Can't do it.
I don't think he can't even narrate, actually.
What if he played a voice?
He might do a voice.
He could do
If the new bad guy... Yeah. Yeah, continuing the thing of like having black actors do awesome voices. He could do a voice of a villain or something. That'd be great. Or a hero. Hell. I mean, yeah.
Sure.
In this Brave New World, why not?
A droid.
Yes.
A droid.
Oh, a nice deep voiced, like, articulate droid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Actually, I like that more and more.
Who else?
Yeah, we gotta hit Morgan Freeman on this.
Get Morgan Freeman on Star Wars. Now.
Well, what about actresses? Sigourney
Yeah,
Weaver.
I was gonna say
Sigourney Weaver.
Tied to Alien. Tied to Alien, but she did Avatar.
She did Avatar, yeah. What about that guy? Speaking of Avatar, whatever happened to that guy who was
Sam Worthington?
Yeah, red hot for just 2 minutes and then
you know what happened to him?
What? Is he the Mark Hamill of Avatar?
What's his name from 21 Jump Street? Channing Tatum.
Oh,
that's
he was replaced.
Yeah, he was replaced immediately.
Replaced by a more fun, more lively version.
Who also replaced what's his name? Who played Robin?
Oh, poor Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah, they just keep finding they finally have gotten the perfect
the perfect kind of dumb.
Yeah. Oh, Tatum can act. Okay, we don't need these other guys. Yeah,
you can act right in improv.
Yeah. What's his name? Jonah Hill. And
yes,
Jonah Hill and Michael Cera.
You know what? If they appear together, I allow it.
Okay. All right.
Because that's a true
I'm going to stay on this track.
As an alien. If they do a two-headed alien.
I'm going to stay on the Arrested Development track.
Okay.
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett is a hard one. I don't think so.
I don't think he can do it.
Because the thing is, he's made such a career of pastiching serious characters.
Right.
That, if he tries to actually play a serious one.
Yeah, he can't do it. No. Although, he did play Batman against Han Solo in the Lego movie. And it was
fantastic.
Perfect. It was perfect. Yeah. Females are tough in Star Wars.
Females are tough. What's her name? Saoirse Ronan or something?
I don't know. I was going to think of more easier ones to
pronounce.
Emma Stone.
Oh, Emma Stone, sure. She got lost in the Spider-Man quagmire.
Yeah. That is a quagmire.
Yeah.
That's a quagmire. I don't even know what they're doing.
Bad times.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Yeah.
Although I do like the spin-offs. Now they're doing spin-offs and they're doing a Sinister Six movie and a Venom movie. I might check in for those.
Well, they're now saying that it's all a big plan. There has been, from the very get-go, it's all been a big plan.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Every studio suddenly has a big plan.
This has all been... The villains have been picked for a reason. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Jamie Foxx, he can't be in.
I think Jamie Foxx needs to I think his career needs to end for a few years. Sorry, Jamie. I didn't. You know what I just watched recently, which is a weird anachronism? The Jamie Foxx show. You ever watch this?
He had a show?
Yeah. Very much like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Did you ever watch this?
No. I watched the Fresh Prince, but...
I mean, I don't know. Depending on how interested you are in Jamie Foxx, and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and television of the 90s, it's worth a check, I guess. It's one of the supporting characters is Gen 1 of Saturday Night Live, the black guy. What's his name?
Damn it.
I've got his name on tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I can never think of him.
Oh, he's funny, too. He's funny as hell. He
really
used
funny.
a lot of sketches in Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Damn it. Anyhow, he's one of the main supporting characters. It's pretty good. He plays Jamie Foxx is like a kind of like a bellboy at this hotel ran by the guy from Saturday Night Live. And it's very, very 90s. Very,
all right. Jim Carrey?
No.
Yeah.
No, sadly, no. No. I love Jim Carrey, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah,
I wish him to be in everything.
Yeah, but no, he can't be in Star Wars.
Also, I'm a fan of serious Jim Carrey.
Yeah, me too.
Even the schmaltz scenes of The Majestic, I'm into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But he can't be in Star Wars.
No, sorry, Jim.
Sorry.
Robin Williams.
Oh, damn it. Could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been Star Wars.
Could have done it.
He could have did it.
He actually could have done it.
He
Robin Williams really could have done it,
Could have
man.
done it, yeah.
Damn.
it.
Too soon. Sam Phillips, Sarah Hoffman. He could have done it too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, after
yeah,
seeing
right.
Mission Impossible. You ever watch Mission Impossible 3?
I have not watched that one. I watched 4. I watched the Ghost Protocol one. I loved it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a big fan of the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tom Cruise, but 3 is great. Philip Seymour Hoffman as the villain for 3. It's probably my favorite. It's like one of my top 5 favorite roles of his.
All right.
He just plays this role as just a hard ass.
Need to watch that.
Great. Okay.
All right. I don't know. We're just rambling.
Yeah, we are rambling, but I'd like to get a couple more options. Any more? Do we have any more?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Perfect.
Brad Pitt could do it. Sure. Why not?
I think modern Brad Pitt could do it.
Sure. Angelina Jolie? No.
I think so. I think she's cool enough that she could do it.
She could
now.
actually probably do it.
Yeah, put a little maybe green skin on her or something.
Sure.
Yeah. Because you know what? I haven't actually watched an Angelina Jolie movie in years.
Does she still do movies?
Yeah. She just does these movies like I just don't see them.
I don't. Yeah. Like, I know she does movies. I just see
pictures of her.
I know she does movies. She did Mel?
The Mel Brooks film?
Maleficent.
Maleficent, yeah.
She did that. That was her big movie.
Yeah, bad thing is when you make a movie that people can't pronounce, they don't go see it.
But the thing is, like, couldn't tell you what she did prior to that.
Oh, no. Well, she did that, she did some Clint Eastwood movie, I want to say. Is that right?
I don't know.
Or she directed a movie. She was a baby was lost. She was adopting a baby.
No idea.
I don't
know. She needs to stop going for the awards movies.
Oh, for sure. It's
just
done.
have fun.
Stop.
Just have fun.
Yeah, have fun. She used to have fun.
Yeah.
And Brad ruined her.
No, Brad doesn't ruin anyone.
Well, Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston cannot be in Star Wars.
No, or anything.
Or any friend. or any friend.
Yeah.
No friends in Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, David Schwimmer. Could David Schwimmer be in it?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I think David Schwimmer is so hot for a comeback. I mean, it's time.
He's a director.
Is he?
I think so. I don't know.
Sitcom
stuff. Stuff and
yeah,
things.
he's probably doing a spinoff. Doing Star Wars. I can't wait till. It's a weird thing, but I can't wait till Star Wars, the luster of Star Wars starts to wear off, and they start giving these spinoff movies to anybody.
Oh man!
And you start getting weird stuff.
This episode's going to go on forever because now you're like, I'm going back to that book that I'm reading, The Secret History of Star Wars, and like, it's amazing. Like, George got everything he wanted finally.
What do you mean?
He wanted basically, after Star Wars came out, he wanted the series to go on with all his friends directing better movies than he did of Star Wars. Like, he just wanted all his friends to be able to make Star Wars movies.
But that's the sad story, Ron.
But wait, no.
Oh.
This is the. He said he wanted to have all his friends make Star Wars movies. Okay? And then he wanted to make the last one. So I ask you, will George Lucas ever direct another Star Wars movie?
No. I wish.
Why not?
Unless he already has. Unless he already has. Unless it's out there.
Him and Ewan McGregor have made a secret Star Wars movie.
Or him and Mark Hamill have been making it, like, much like Adulthood, that movie that filmed over 20 years. Maybe him and Mark Hamill have been making a movie together for 30 years.
Oh, that'd be great.
God,
that'd be great.
That's what I want. That reminds me of the Dave Filoni's foreword in the new Star Wars book,
New
Dawn.
Right. You're reading it now?
Yeah,
you
I got my own download of it.
I'm about 150 pages into it. I cannot talk to you about it because there's actually spoilers.
Oh,
yeah. There's a big bomb drop in about 40 pages into it.
Does it rhyme with Ahsoka?
No, not at all. No,
okay.
No. You find something out about one of the new characters that has not been dropped in any of the previews for Rebels.
Does the spoiler have anything to do with Episode 7, in your opinion?
No, although it definitely has it has to do with the Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
the nature of them, or
no. I can't say any more. It's a big spoiler. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. This is interesting. Makes total sense. Makes the character a little bit more interesting. Yeah, it makes total sense, and I was like, okay, good to know.
That little Mandalorian girl is the daughter of Obi-Wan.
No, she's not in it. She's not in it.
Okay.
No.
In Dave Filoni's foreword, he says he's talking about working with George Lucas very closely in the Clone Wars, and he says, quote, "He used to joke with us, my crew and me, telling us that he had been teaching us the ways of the Force so that one day he could retire and Star Wars could keep on going without him. I'm not sure we ever believed him until it happened." And that's where we leave it.
I think that's where we have to leave it, yeah, until he makes a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he already has.
All right.
All right, well, thanks, folks. See you next week.
All right, folks, yeah, I guess...
oh, that's right.
Yeah, let's do our little thing here.
Yeah, if you've made it this far,
yeah,
why not just sit down and give us an iTunes review?
Yeah. Tell us how much we ramble on iTunes. Also, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/swdog. Email us.
Shoot us an email at swdog77@gmail.com. That's swdog77@gmail.com.
And also follow us on Twitter at swdog77.
That's right.
All right, folks.
Look forward to hearing from you. Take care.
All right. May the force be with you.
What was that quote again?
Force. May the force be with you.